Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the day shift. So happy to be back in the building. I'm Paulette. I am the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, and you guessed it, Brownstone Living Magazine. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the day shift. Today is April 14th. Y'all, it is the middle of the month. Did you pay your bills for the month yet? I did that. I hope you did. But here's why I'm here today. I'm back in the saddle or the chair or the stool or whatever you want to call it. I need a more comfortable chair is what I need. I need a director's seat. You do? You like that song? Girl, I'll send it to you. After I edit it. It's a hot mess. But listen, y'all, let's get into news and information. Why is this like this? Let me go ahead and stand her up just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's why. So y'all, listen. News, information, updates. It's been a lot that is going on. What I miss? Angie, congratulations. What kind of job was it? Oh, I'm in your business. I'm sorry. I apologize. But let us know so we can celebrate with you. Okay, so listen. News and information and updates. First and foremost, for those of you all who are not on TikTok, please be aware that y'all, China is not playing with production is to the so you just gonna throw that out there in the middle of a live broadcast and think that we're not gonna stop and be like, okay, spill the tea. Y'all got y'all water. Hey Mary, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Well, oh, sweet. Good for you. Congratulations. Come on for the new reality show. And I already know you probably have all kind of NDEs and stuff in place. So just keep us in the know on what's happening so we can come out and support what you're doing. Production assistant. Yes, ma'am. Congratulations. NDAs. Yeah, I said NDE, didn't I? NDAs. NDA, not near-death experience. Non-disclosure agreements. Thank you. All right, so y'all, let's get into some of the news and information that we need to talk about today. Because y'all, I'm trying not to go down the rabbit hole today, but it's hard not to because there's so much going on. So let's start with a little bit of humor first. So y'all do know that the Trump administration has imposed these tariffs on China and said 145%. Is it 145% or is it higher? right now today? What is it? And then he kind of backtracked and he said that it would exclude electronics. Well, then just exclude all of it, bruh. Just exclude all of it, because let me tell you what the folks on TikTok are doing that are from China. They said, oh, okay. First of all, we've been here 5,000 years. We don't care. That's what was so funny to me. I don't know if any of you all saw when they interviewed this gentleman from China. I forgot his name. Don't even know what his role is, but it's pretty high up. And he said, hey, Simon, how are you? He said, we don't care. And he was so calm. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Have you ever seen movies where their patience, their diligence, all of that is so, so clear? Everybody has this in them, right? Every race, every culture, whatever. But when you see Asian folk really, and this is not me being racist, and if it is, I apologize up front, but I love to see when the focus gets in there, especially in those movies that I grew up watching when I was a kid on Saturday mornings, and they get so super focused and so laser just beamed in there, right? And so it is so amazing to see them get focused and be like, oh, okay, I'll be right back. And when they come back, they're like, okay, I don't even want you to hold my beer because I can hold it and still knock you out, right? I got it like that. And that's what we have to realize is what that man said was so, so true. He said, we've been here 5,000 years. We're going to be all right. He said that with a Kendrick Lamar vibe, right? He was thugged out like, dun, dun, dun. Yep. And they are centered in the business of the day. Yes. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, wow, I never thought about it like that. But you know what? Let me just go ahead and just move on out the way because y'all got this. And then it started. My For You page was inundated, y'all. Anybody else that's on YouTube or if you're on Meta, one of the things that we noticed right away, how many of you all on TikTok literally started seeing instances of Chinese manufacturers all over for the past couple of days? How many of y'all saw that? I did. I saw so many Chinese manufacturers telling y'all, girls and boys, baby, when I tell you they were spilling the tea. Oh, they were spilling the tea. And they did, you went looking for it, you did. Oh, they weren't playing with y'all. They were not playing with us on today. Or yesterday or the day before. They literally said, hold up, you know Lululemon? This is how much it really costs. They're charging you $100 for this jacket. It really costs $8. You want these Nikes? I got a whole bag of Nikes right here. They $1 a pair, $2 a pair. The Air Force Ones, all of them. Yep. You want, what was it? What was the other one that I saw that was really kind of funny to me? Oh, it was laundry pods. You want laundry pods? We could sell you a whole bag or a box for $1. You pay for the branding. That's it. And so you you blocked the red door, they still found you. Listen, and here's the thing. Let me be clear. And I know that we're all not that naive. But one of the things that I thought was super interesting about all of this was that we all know this. Oh, it's assistant producer. Come on, man. Congratulations. Don't forget us when you make it big, man. Congratulations. I hope you're happy. Right? Seriously. That's amazing. That is awesome. Like I said, don't forget us when you get big. We'll say we knew you when. That's awesome. Please give us details so when this reality show is over and they start the promotion that we can help support any way that we can. Come back and let us know. Hey there, thank you so much for that. I'm not Alien J, a lion. Hey Libby, how are you? Thank you for the rose. But yeah, so So they started spilling the tea. They started telling you how. Remember, I've been homeschooling my kiddos for a while, but you know what though? You still went out there and you got it. You got it. Congratulations. That's a lot. You're homeschooling and you're out here trying to build your career, girl. But you know what? Nothing surprises me. We women are amazing. Cheers to that. Okay. China said, hold my beer. Never mind. I hold it myself. That's exactly what they said. Because we've been here 5,000 years trying to get back on track. So we've been here 5,000 years. How long has America been around? And you think you're going to play with the big dogs that's been here? We've been doing this. We've been trading. It's nothing new. And the fact that they're not playing with us. And here's something else too that we don't want to talk about. The Chinese bonds. China has purchased some bonds from us. So what does that mean? They gave us some money. Yeah. And it's huge stakes on the economy. So we don't want to talk about that, but we need to talk about that. We're talking about bond yields, and I think that that's important. Hang on. I need to pull that up, and I forgot to do that, y'all, because I get to talking to y'all. So you know that we sell these bonds, and basically that's so that they can give us money, and then U.S. has to pay that back. So basically, hold on. I think it's a 30-year bond. Is it a 30-year bond? Yeah, we're in trouble. I think they did. I think it was over the weekend too. SR. Yep. Let's see what they say. You know what? My son put Yahoo on here, and I don't like it because I can't. I don't know what Yahoo got going on, but I saw it. I'm not even gonna do that. Here we go. Y'all want to know how much it is? 760 billion. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. How much was it? And this is according to Bloomberg as of yesterday. China is done retaliating against U.S. President Donald Trump's exorbitant tariffs, calling the administration's actions a joke that it no longer considers worthy of matching. The question now is whether President Xi Jinping will find a more potent weapon to strike back at his opponent. Beijing on Friday reiterated its vow to fight to the end, and they're not playing with us. One dangerous card that China's got is its $760 billion holdings in Treasury securities. The country is the U.S.'s second largest foreign creditor after Japan. Nia, why he even got this on here? Why would you do that? Because I had it set to Google. All the time. Y'all need to quit playing. Last year, the 10-year yield jumped by 50 basis points to 4.49%, the biggest weekly surge since 2001. Some of the sharpest moves were occurring during Asian hours, prompting speculation that Beijing was in the market. Will China weaponize and dump its holdings? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent brushed this fear aside in a recent interview with Tucker Carlson. He talked about the beauty of being the world's biggest borrower. If you take a bank loan, the bank is in charge. They can repossess whatever you borrowed against. But if you take a big enough loan, you're kind of in charge of the bank. What? While that's true in a distressed scenario, the dynamic doesn't quite work here. Trump's abrupt tariff U-turn exposed the White House's Achilles heel. He blinked and paused the hikes on all nations except China after watching U.S. sovereign bonds tank. After all, Bessent, who's now spearheading tariff negotiations, requires a stable bond market to sell into. His department needs to issue roughly $2 trillion in new debt this year. in addition to rolling over 8 trillion in maturing bonds. Every percentage point rise in yield would cost the government around $100 billion. But that weakness, that the White House doesn't want a fiscal crisis, gives China an opening. First of all, Tuberville is not. I've been trying not to read when I'm reading the news. All right, so here basically, last week news broke that the People's Bank of China added gold to its reserves for a 5th straight month. That prompted frantic buying, with more betting that gold is more attractive than the dollar. In other words, in this volatile environment where anti-American, anti-bullying sentiment runs high, it won't take much for the PBOC to smash the safe haven status of the US dollar and bonds. Global investors are happy to look elsewhere. Did y'all hear that? They are happy to look elsewhere. Canada's biggest pension funds, for instance, are eyeing Europe as an alternative, attractive spot for capital. Let me tell y'all why this is so interesting to me. Because when you're playing with the big boys, you have to be careful who you step on. And he stepped on some major dogs. And I'm talking about their feet. And he didn't think this through, because what happens if they say, we want our money back today? We're going to go ahead and sell these. And we want our money back. So what we're missing is the bigger point, because the bigger point is this. There's too much at stake when we're talking about the fact that our hands and our feet as America as a whole are so deep in connected to so many other countries that have purchased our bonds, because it's money we need. And what is that money? What does that money from the bonds go to? Places like Social Security. So we're just looking surface. Yep, bankrupt like his casinos. If they dump those bonds, that's right. We're done. We're done. And they know that. They know that. This is so crazy to me. I think where my head is right now is who in the hell left the gate open? Because I don't know literally what else to say in this instance, because what advice, y'all know what commercial I'm talking about, who in the hell left the gate open? Who told this man, who's on his advisors committee? How did the administration not, that part, he proved he wasn't good at business when he was playing at the boardwalk. Where my vitamins at? Because I'm not going to play with y'all today. Y'all came here to play today. I see that. Welcome back, right? Welcome back. Yes. Man, listen, this is why we have to be careful, but there's always a silver lining, right? What is the silver lining? Because the veil is up. So what is the veil? Y'all, this hair is everywhere. It was a guy that wrote a book with no education in financial. Ooh. Let me just say this. The veil is up. And that's not in a spiritual sense. Let's talk about the fact that when I got on TikTok Friday, China was coming through loud and strong on my For You page. And I literally just sat there and I was just scrolling through and I was absolutely tickled. Then, of course, I went into the comments and Americans were like, yes, keep going. Tell us where, right? Here's the thing. The beauty of this is kind of twofold, because we're watching what could become a new economy, right? It's called cut out the middleman. Think about it. So we've always known, as I said earlier, let me circle back. As I said earlier, we've always known that there's an upsell. We know that. How many of us, let me sit up in my chair just a little bit. How many of us shop on DHgate? I do. Alibaba, me. Remember I said I had a store, it was called Brownstone Living and Essentials. Where y'all think I got my products from? Yeah. How about two? I still have the apps on my phones, my older phones. Yeah. That's where we would go and order up our little bulk items and have it shipped directly to the house, and then we would go and open up our little bitty store in the flea market, and that's how we made our money. Real talk. So when we are here and we're talking about we didn't know, we knew. We always knew that if we could get it cheaper. So one time my son bought, I'm telling his business, he's gonna be so mad. My son ordered a pair of Nikes because he just wanted to see the quality. And we literally had him, he was like lining the shoe up because has been around for years. So he lined up one Air Force One with the other, and he was like, but mother, the stitch. I said, no, it's not. I said, everything that you got from the Nike store here is the exact same stuff that you got in that box from DH Gate. They are the same. I said, KJ, those are the same shoe. If not manufactured at the same manufacturer, period. So then herein lies the bigger question. What happens to this federal agency that handles counterfeiting? What happens to that? What happens? Because the veil has been removed. What happens to the value of a Birkin or whatever that Hermes or whatever it was? It's like a $32,000 purse. Did y'all see that? Where the $32,000 purse, and he broke it down and told you how much each piece cost and all of that. Thankfully, I have been a thrift store shopper my whole life. No name brands. Me either, Katie. Did you see that? Sure can. CJ said Doge can cut that department. Yes, why not? I'm just saying, like when you sit back and you think about it, then the question is it the integrity of the name? Because that's out the window now. That girl, it was the way she said it. You know how much Lululemon really costs? Exactly. And if we know that these artisans and these people are literally all in the same manufacturing facility, just take some time, folks. Like I said, if you're on Meta, if you're on Bigo right now, if you're on YouTube, please know and understand, y'all. And if you are not on TikTok, go over there. Just take a look and see what your For You page is all about, or do China TikTok. That's what I did, and all kinds of stuff started coming up, and they spilling the tea. So now they have us by the cojones when it comes to our products, but do they really? Because they said, and in a word, I'm going to also say this. I'll say that they were basically saying, and makes my daughter's clothes, and they are better than any name brand. Yep, I believe you. I believe you. But the thing is when we're talking about quality, we're talking about all these things. Yes, they can be made overseas. They spilled all the beans. They said that they make everything in bulk there and they ship it off. And then y'all sitting here thinking it's made in Italy when it's really not. They just go back over there and put the label on it, slap the back, and go on about their business. And we're spending tons of money on those things. But here's somebody, that part. But then who do we blame for that? How many of y'all old enough to remember NAFTA? Y'all remember that? I do. It was horrifying because at one moment, the USA was the producer of literally everything that we purchased in the US. It didn't mean that we didn't have made in China. Yeah, it was there, but it wasn't to the magnitude that it is now. And let's dig a little bit further, because see, we're not going to absolve major corporations and businesses, these big box retailers, from their responsibility of what happened. They pushed for it. It wasn't something that Reagan was just like, oh, well, I just want to send all of the business overseas. It was literally, thank you, Clinton. So it was literally something that was created because they didn't want to pay workers here what they were worth. Now think about it. Let's take it to 2025. I'm hearing a lot of people on the MAGA side say, I want to have those businesses come back to the States. I do too, baby. I would love to see that. But you know what? You're going to have to pay people a living wage because it's expensive to live in the USA. Hey, K Millionaire, come on in. You got your coffee, girl. We over here having a whole conversation about what happened over the weekend with China on TikTok. Come on in. So when we think about it, let's look at this. So if let's hypothetically, let's look at bringing plants back to the US. Okay, you got a protein shake today? Thank you for that. So here's where I have my concern. I would love to see companies come back to the States. Wouldn't you? I would love that, but you're gonna have to pay folks a living wage. Okay. Now, where I currently live in Atlanta, I live in what they say is the country's largest. It doesn't add up exactly. I love that check on MAGA and they don't want to pay fast food workers. That part, they don't want to pay fast food workers. Minimum wage is back on the table again, and they said they don't want to pay folks more than $7.25 an hour in certain areas. Have you lost your mind? Some people's rent is more than my mortgage. Can y'all make that make sense? It doesn't make sense. It absolutely makes no sense to me. So now, here you are. You done sent all of the companies overseas because the company said, we're not paying all them people all that money. We're not going to do it. We're not going to give them pension. We're not going to give them none of that. We're not paying for 501c3. We're not paying for none of that. Okay, so let's talk about the North America Free Trade Agreement and how we got to where we are now, because this is a big deal. So let's talk about NAFTA. Now, it was signed in 1992, and it eliminated most tariffs and other trade barriers on products and services passing between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The pact effectively created a free trade bloc. Hold on. Let's go back. It was controversial. NAFTA went into effect in 1994 and remained in force until it was replaced in 2020. It's the North America Free Trade Agreement, was inspired by the success of the European Economic Community in eliminating tariffs in order to stimulate trade among its members. Proponents argued that establishing a free trade area in North America would bring prosperity through increased trade and production, resulting in the creation of millions of well-paying jobs in all participating countries. That kind of didn't happen, though, did it? Yeah, you're right. So what ended up happening was a lot of companies started sending their manufacturing facilities overseas because it was cheaper. They sent them to Mexico, Costa Rica, the Philippines. And companies that were employing people like my sister worked at a company for years before in Arkansas. Manufacturing facility where they literally sold the shirts local, like the shirts and stuff that ended up in like your Walmart and Zare at the time and Kmart and stuff like that. She was responsible for training people on how to make the shirts and, you know, put the buttons on and stuff like that. Well, I can remember, this was in the 90s. I can remember when she got laid off. And the one thing that she talked about back then was how they brought the people over that she had to train from other countries. And then once they got the training and went back overseas, they laid everybody off and shut the plant down. Do you know that there were tons of companies that were doing that all over the country? Move the chocolate factory to Mexico. So what does that do to the local community? Think about that. You've seen it. We're living in it. In the area where I currently live right now, this is a community of people that did textile. So Carter's was here. Let's see. Now there is one mill that is left that makes socks and makes the towels for major hotel chains. It's still here. Everything else is completely shut down, right? So he lost his job in 121. January 21, right? So there's manufacturing facilities not far from where I live. And I live in an area that's supposed to be the world's largest manufacturing strip in McDonough, Georgia. And when I tell you Home Depot is down here, Luxottica that makes all the eyewear and stuff like that, that's here. Let's see who else is here. Purple is here. Blue Mountain, all of them. It's just a huge, like, miles, and the traffic is horrendous. Baby, you couldn't pay me You could pay me to go down there. But anyway, so when we think about all of these companies, and see, here's the thing, regardless of whether or not there are manufacturing facilities here, the stuff still gets shipped from China. It still gets shipped from other countries. And then when we get them here, then we're just putting them back together or putting whatever final touches on it and then shipping it out. New administration, traffic is a deal breaker. Baby, listen. And I said, I live in Atlanta. I'm not doing it. And it doesn't matter how far you go down, right? So I'm one city below McDonough. It is ridiculous. Now it's starting to get ridiculous. Well, anyway, so when you think about NAFTA and all of the things that are happening here, it started with that. And then, and then news. And then here we are. And it took some time, but we started to see entire cities and towns and communities fall apart. It couldn't sustain itself because where were the businesses? And if people didn't have jobs, what were they going to lose? Their homes, their cars. Homes were being repoed, houses were being repoed, foreclosed, houses, cars were being repoed. Entire families lost everything when this happened because it was cheaper to do it overseas, right? Now, you want me to believe that after this North American free trade agreement was put into position, it took all of those years to get us to the point where these beautiful buildings are falling apart. And now you want me to believe that it's going to come back. How? Because here's what's going to happen. Number one, it's going to take years to rebuild. Years. This ain't going to happen overnight. Years. I never said that I disagreed. What I said was it's going to take time. Okay? Now, you better say it, Angie. So that's first. And then on top of that, you're going to have to pay people in this country a livable wage. That's going to take years and legislation and all of the things to not pay people pennies on the dollar like some people are doing right now. Okay? So when we talk about that, here we go. When we talk about that, thanks TikTok. Okay. When we talk about that, you just hit the nail on the head. We don't have the time to wait for it. We don't. That's the whole thing. We don't have that kind of time. It's going to take another 20, 30 years for us to see that. I didn't say I disagreed, but this is the wrong way to do it. I would love to see those businesses come back here, but what we need to do is, it's 25 years deep. And that's on the low end. It's going to take long. And then the years it's going to take for us to see to reap the benefits. I understand, but you're doing it wrong. It's got to be a better way. And here's something else. Manufacturing in this country is over. It's too cheap to do it in other countries and send it back. It's not going to be the same. It'll never be the same again. I'm sorry. Worse to clean up after Reagan. Right. This is not the way to do it because people are suffering. And you're saying, no, we're going to do it this way. And we're going to hold you accountable. But you holding people. That's like me going into the lion's den. Not the lion's den. That's like me going to somebody who I've borrowed money from and telling them what I'm not going to do. Let me go to the mob or the mafia and be like, nah, I'm not gonna pay that back, big bro. We all are running out of time. And now we're talking about another revolution that has already taken place, and it's AI. The digital revolution is here. And so here's the thing. We're talking about people, and this is why this is so important, like what Bernie Sanders did over the weekend. Did y'all see what he did? He went to Coachella. This man stood on stage and spoke to the future and said, you are the future. And I need y'all to get up. That's basically what he said. He said, it's time for y'all to get up. Never tired. How does he? 83? Sharp as a tack. Bernie said, y'all, come on. We need you to get in the fight. So when we're talking about these free trade agreements and all of these things, we need to, first of all, hold these businesses accountable that keep running from trying to pay people, one, a livable wage with those benefits that they need in order to work for them for the long haul. And we keep skirting that issue. And that's confusing to me. We're not holding the people who are greasing these palms with our politicians to keep things the way that they are, because they keep having these massive profitable years. Let's go even further now that we're talking about profit. See, baby, y'all know how I do. Listen. So I'm having a conversation this morning, and let's talk about, wait a minute, y'all get your coffee, get your water. I'm having a conversation about the tariffs. And I was doing the news Angie. Shall we talk about it? We shall. But come with me. Come with me. Let's talk about COVID, and let's talk about pricing, and let's talk about these tariffs. Did y'all hear about these businesses already imposing a tariff fee? Did y'all see that? SR, hold on to that thought. Did you see that? Yeah. So they're already imposing the tariff fee on products and on products. I didn't even know that the tariffs had even started yet, but they're already imposing the fee. So they've already raised prices. Put your thinking caps on and come with me. You remember during COVID, and we've had this conversation before, so I'm going to use an example I've used before. Remember when potato chips, a bag of 24 used to cost $5? Now you're going to get that same bag of 24, and it's $19.99. And they said it was because of COVID. So now these businesses are saying, oh, let's go ahead and raise prices and let them know that it's because of the tariffs. The lies you tell. Tariffs ain't even started. This man is going, he's flip-flopping so much like a fish fighting for water. It hasn't even been imposed yet. So what are we doing? Y'all already imposing those fees onto customers because you can. Hasn't even started yet because they can't get it right. But y'all already imposing those fees. So let's say, for instance, this goes away. Do you think those prices don't go back down? One shop told a bride last week that to order her dress, it would cost $160 more. Hurricane season is coming in Florida, June 1st. I know prices are going to continue to go up. They're not going down, Angie. Nope, not at all. I need y'all to think about this. So how do we combat this? Number one, what do? Continue to shop local. But you already know what's going to happen when you shop local, right? Some of those folks, those businesses are literally, they literally are going to have to raise their rates. One of my sisters that I'm friends with is in a local mastermind that I'm in. Her name is Dr. Sheridan Reynolds, and she sources her products from overseas. And she was on CNN over the weekend. And she was talking about how it's impacting her business, okay? And that's the other thing, buying essentials. You have a full greenhouse, y'all. My beans are dead. Hold up. So my beans died. They didn't die, but I put them outside, I think, a little too early. And they're struggling for life. So are my cabbages. So I'm not starting over. I'm watching them to see how they do. And I will be, yeah. You'll buy essentials. So in that instance, so let's go back to that, shall we? So we already know that they're going to raise rates. They've already started. Tariffs haven't been imposed. Nothing that anybody has shipped has had the impact hit them yet. So why y'all raising do starts on your cabbage? She just gets by. And see, that's the thing. I know a lot of friends of mine that are business owners. They're already looking for ways to circumvent what they're dealing with. Bamboo does not grow here. I have a friend that has a company called Bamboo. She sells sheets. Where do you think she get her bamboo from? China. It's going to hit her hard. I'm sure it is. As a matter of fact, Senator Warnock actually used her as an example on one of his examples in front of the Senate. Yeah. So we're not going to see any prices go down. We're going to see prices go up, and businesses are going to take advantage of it, and they're not going to go back down. They're not. They're absolutely not, because they haven't gone down from COVID, and it's been 5 years. So who should we be holding accountable? The businesses that keep taking advantage of the American people and saying that it's our fault. Make that make sense. Because that's honestly what they're doing. They're saying, oh, it's your fault that it's like this. Oh, it's your fault that it's like that. And here we are. And you're going to pay for it because it's your fault. It's your fault. Yeah. Clearwater. Ooh, girl. Be safe. I bet it's beautiful out there, though. But yeah, I just had to bring that to the forefront because I think that it's important to have these conversations, because I'm really getting ready to blow y'all socks off. Y'all ready for this one? How many of you all have heard the recording from the sister that was having a conversation with a Black farmer? Sit down. Matter of fact, did you hear it, Angie? Did you fall out your chair? Or did your brain start doing all of the scenarios and go, oh my God? Very terrifying. I was going to play it, but I didn't get her permission, even though, right, she gave it to her to share. You heard it, Maureen? Y'all, let's go down the rabbit hole. You're closing your small business as the cups I order are set in double price. I'm sorry, Katie. Let us know where we can find you. Please let us know where we can find you. So let's talk about this. Kamal Bell is awesome reporting. This farmer said, first of all, Black farmers will not be impacted because for some strange reason, many of them can't get the subsidies. So let's talk about this a little bit. So this Black farmer was talking about the subsidies and all of the things that are happening. So basically, this current administration, y'all notice I'm being careful with my words. I'm learning so much about this particular platform and others, shall we? This current administration said that they were going to be giving out these particular subsidies. Well, the subsidies didn't occur to kind of help people to buy the equipment that they need and their seeds and to help with the planting and so forth and so on, right? Well, she did a little history and was talking about how these subsidies literally are put in place for what's two things. So like Angie said, because I have to get my thoughts wrapped around me or else I'm gonna have to go find it and play it for y'all. Two things that happen. Number one, the sad part is that we've been sold a bill of goods and a bunch of lies all of these years. So I learned from listening to this woman that the WIC program, which I was a part of, was not designed for women, infants, and children. It wasn't. Let's put this in perspective. It was designed to provide a way for farmers to get the government subsidies by opening up themselves to giving or quote unquote selling their milk, their cheese, exactly, their grains for cereals and stuff. That's why you could only purchase certain types of cereal on WIC, because those were the grains. Those were the things that helped the manufacturers to make the cereals. And so those subsidies, or as she said, yeah, that blew my mind. I was like, you're kidding. And so all of a sudden I became absolutely furious, because now stop and think about it. Think about this whole thing. When I was expecting Tamika, first of all, I was 18. I ain't no business having no baby no way. But here I was 18 years old, freshman in college. And I went down to the clinic because that's what everybody told me to do, go to the clinic. So I went to the clinic. And I sat there. They I tested, of course, it was positive. I was about 16, 17 weeks. Didn't really understand or know that I should have been getting prenatal care. You young, you stupid, you don't know. So got all my stuff, and then they said, "Oh, we need to sign you up because you don't have health insurance. We're going to sign you up for Title 19, which was their version of Medicaid back then in Wisconsin." So then they also said, "We're going to also sign you up for WIC so you can get your milk, your eggs, your cheese, your beans, XYZ, whatever, whatever." They had like this whole chart of how it's going to help your baby grow and do all the things and blah, 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 blah. And I got to thinking about that, y'all. And I said, so all this time, they had it set up. Food stamps. Let's talk about food stamps, right? SNAP. So when we're talking about SNAP and we're talking about all of that, she even went down a rabbit hole with that. It's all subsidies. Because what happens is these grocery stores and everything that's getting SNAP or food stamps back in the day, they're turning those back in and they're getting checks for that from where? The government. Doesn't that sound like a socialist construct to you? Oh, I could have poured some extra in there. So when she was talking about this, bingo, exactly, welfare. You remember when Ronald Reagan was so adamant about the welfare queen? We weren't the ones getting the subsidies. Third cup of coffee. Think about that. Y'all, let that sink in. The projection of it all. We're projecting it on the wrong people, and they blamed us. They said, this is your fault. They said, oh, we need to get rid of welfare when that wasn't even the issue. Me either. Let that sink in, y'all. They told us, this was the propaganda. They told us you have no business getting a welfare check. You have no business getting food stamps. You have no business getting WIC. But if they had cut it off for all of these people, the real people that were getting the welfare were the farmers and the businesses from the government. And it worked like this. And I thought, all this time, I didn't either, Kimberly. That's the thing. I didn't either. Until I got a little bit older and I started reading up on subsidies. I was in college, honey. You couldn't tell me I wasn't part of public enemy. Fight the power, baby. I was learning all the things. Yeah. But I want y'all to sit back and think it was all propaganda. All of it. They getting bigger welfare checks than anybody, in the millions, in the hundreds of thousands. When I heard that woman say, WIC was not designed for women, infants, and children, it was designed for the farmers. And now, without those subsidies that they were promised, they can't plant their crops. And now, without those bodies out there picking the current crops that are there, they are rotting where they stand. I'll take another sip. How y'all feel about that? How do you feel knowing, honestly, that it's all a game? She spilled the tea, Carol Sue. Baby, listen, when I I was so mad. I was mad for like 20 minutes. Like I'm in here literally yelling at the top of my lungs to my homeboy that comes to help out. He was like, I know. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. The lies they tell us. They had people believing. They had us believing And the whole time, folks getting whole subsidy check. Can I go down the rabbit hole? Because then all of a sudden, some other stuff started making sense. So I know some folks that own some daycare centers from back in the day. Now, I don't know how it's done now, but back in the day, I knew people who I was related to that had daycare centers that were built and all of that, right? And what they did was for every head count in the daycare center, they would get a subsidy or a check for each one of the children that was in the daycare, right? They would get a separate check to to feed the children. What? Milk, juice, eggs, bread, all of the things that are on the what? Your food pyramid. Anything clicking yet? Now you mad at John Cougar Mellencamp. Oh! So this whole time, everything is welfare. We don't want to have that conversation, do we? We don't want to have that conversation. Child. I'm going to share it again and let you all listen to it because it's like 6 or 7 minutes long, right? And matter of fact, hold on. Like it was so good. It was so heavy. It was so heavy. I thought this cannot be life. It literally cannot be life that these people are they have us believing that we are the problem. And the whole time, here it is, I done found it. Yeah, y'all to be mad. Y'all to be mad. Let's see. I don't know if it's still up because Black woman farmer sounds the alarm. And she also says how we need to be preparing for, yeah, it's 9 minutes and 58 seconds long, y'all. And what I'm gonna do is let you all know that you can find it at Bourbon Bougie 3.0. I need y'all to go check it out. And there's going to be a food supply crisis because of this, because of the lack of the subsidies that go out, right? So because the farmers aren't getting their welfare checks, and because we have people that are not out there, Bourbon, B-U-R-B, the letter N, Bougie 3.0, and I'm going to share it because this is it's too heavy. I'm going to do a repost. So I just did a repost again, right? Because y'all need to see this. It's 9 minutes longer. I would play it. I would literally let y'all hear it because it's going to blow your freaking mind. Because it's the farmer herself that's talking, okay? And when I heard it, I thought, here's what y'all need to do. This is what you need to start getting more of: water, dried beans, rice, oats, flour, sugar, cornmeal, canned goods, canned meats, anything canned, fresh meats, fruits, vegetables for your freezer, and dried dehydrated fruits and vegetables, peanut butter, jelly, dressings, cereals, crackers, butter, oils, condiments such as salt, pepper, vinegar, powdered milk, toiletries, paper towels, tissue, hard candies for treats. Buy now if you can. We ain't seen nothing yet, is what the farmers are saying, because the supply is almost out. They have nothing to plant, and what has been planted cannot be harvested because the bodies are not there. Either they've already been deported, they've left, or they scared to come out. Right? Right. She said they're making me tired. And so entire crops are rotting. Yeah. So it's and you need to really just go through, because she's sharing so much information and it's so important. So yes, I'll continue to share, but this is important. Heading to Aldi after work, listen, I'm going over here to this little store over here called Wilson's, and I'm gonna see how much canned goods I can come. Now we've already started. My deep freezer is full. My regular freezer back there is full. I need to get another deep freezer, because they said if things continue the way that they're going right now, we're gonna get hit. It's going to eventually. And now here's something else she talked about too. Truckers are not getting the same amount of shipments that they had been getting, right? So they're not as heavy, and you know that they actually are paid by the mile and also by how much that they're shipping, right? So they're gonna lose that. Yep, loads are light. Mm-hmm. Amazing. So yeah, this is I really, yeah. So there, you dislike pew pews, but I need to get some. I needed to share this information with you guys because it is so important. I was going to do like a documentary, like a commentary piece on it, and I probably still will. But when I tell you this information is so important that she shared, um, it just absolutely blew my mind how she came out the woodwork and was like, look, this is what y'all need to know. This is what y'all need to know. And this is why this is so important for you. And it blew my ever loving mind. I couldn't believe it. They already out here watching. Okay. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. Unbelievable. So I need y'all to be aware that y'all, it's almost 11 o'clock. Y'all know I got to get up out of here and do some other things for the business. But I needed to share that with you all. Of course, you know I'll be back later on this afternoon with tips, topics, and talk. It will not be at 12 noon. Okay. I haven't figured out what time, but I'm still going to do my 2 lives. Okay. And once I figure that out, it might be closer to 5 though, like a drive time, right? So that I can get some things done in between. But yeah, this is a lot of information. But when I learned that, I thought, you have got to be freaking kidding me. This is too much to be taking in. But you need to be aware. We all need to be aware that we've been lied to. Hi, Richard. Yeah, we've been lied to this whole time. NAFTA, the situation with what's happening with our farmers and their subsidies, and how they've been lying to us. We've been bamboozled. Now think about it. They lied and they told us that the welfare queen was a thing. They lied and they told us that nobody should be getting welfare. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with Wisconsin, but back in the day, Wisconsin was known for giving some of the largest welfare checks in the country, right? People would move from other states to move to Wisconsin to get welfare checks. Well, a new Republican governor, Scott Walker, was elected, and he told welfare moms, you got till October, I forgot what year it was, like 20, I think it was 2020, something like that. You got till October something, and we're cutting everybody off. So y'all need to go to right to work, welfare to work, whatever you need to do, but y'all need to get out here and get a job. First of all, the women that I knew that were getting welfare, including some of my siblings, wasn't getting a whole bunch of daggone money. I was already living in Atlanta when it happened. But when he cut those checks off and these women still couldn't find work because they had been having babies their whole lives and they had no job skills, it tanked everything. Housing, economy, the local economy, everything, especially in Milwaukee, suffered. That's been 20 some years ago. They're just now starting to recover from that. And a lot of those people have discovered. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I took some time off too. I really, really needed it because I needed to figure out what my next moves were going to be. Okay, I really, really did, and it's not a negative thing. We're gonna talk about that in just a second, and I'm out of here. But I really had to stop and think about how was I going to continue to present the news, even though I was presenting the news throughout the day, is to do it like this, to provide that additional commentary, to give you all something to think about, to give myself something to think about. I think about this stuff literally all day because it impacts everything that I do. I charge advertising fees, y'all, for businesses. Don't think it hasn't impacted me, because it has. I know you all have seen it too, and it's unfair for us to sit here and to continue to point fingers at each other when we're not the ones that propagated the propaganda. It's unfair. It ain't right. They have us sitting here dogging each other out as American citizens when in reality, y'all created this system for lies. Y'all sat up and told us that the construct that we have here was beneficial to us, when in reality, it was for big box retailers. It was for the farmers. You got farmers out here making millions of dollars. Yeah, you're going to continue to vote for your interest because it interested you until it didn't. Now you're mad. And he told y'all what he was going to do. Can't be mad at something you voted for, but now the rest of us have to FAFO along with you. Can we talk about the beauty in this, though? If you were ever at any time bamboozled, the veil is off. China spilled the tea, and this sister, she spilled the tea on subsidies and what it really is. We've known for years, but to hear it come from somebody else's mouth. And she said this, she said, Black farmers will be okay because we couldn't get the subsidies. Yeah, she said that. She said, I've never gotten a subsidy. So when you listen to it, please listen to it. Please. Because she spilled that tea. And it was hot. And baby, I had to get 2 cups and re-listen to it again. Everything is a part of the construct. All of it. And it was to help the farmers. That's what it was. To get that milk. You remember, if you ever got WIC, you remember how much milk you got. You ended up having to freeze it or give it away, or the cereal that you got, it was almost in excess. It was like, you know what, I can't use this many eggs. I can't use, gallons of that stuff. Yes. Hey, Mike Lowry. Oh, thank you for my origami. I appreciate you. Yeah. Crazy amounts of milk and eggs and cheese. We couldn't keep it, honey. We had so much macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving and stuff. 5 gallons. You remember that? 1 check alone. And I was vegan at the time, 100% vegan. They accommodated me with fresh carrots, lettuce, all the things. Now I know why. Because they could. Because these farmers had excess they couldn't get rid of. Mr. Government, you're going to have to come and help us. Let me cut a check. So those checks would go back. They would get redeemed over at the grocery store. They would send that over to this agency, and they would cut a check for the grocery store and still be able to pay that subsidy to the farmer. Everybody's in on it, except the American people. Because they told us we were welfare queens. My welfare check for me and my baby was $440 a month. Go get a job with that, and you'll end up with a felony. Who's the real villain here? You ever thought about that? Anyway, enough of that. All right, you guys, y'all know what it is. Listen, if you want more news and information that you can use, head over to brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and Brownstone Living Magazine. I will be back later on this afternoon, or probably early evening, for our drive time edition of Tips, Topics, and Talk. And let's go ahead and make a little dinner, a little something. I wonder what I'm going to cook today. That's what we're going to start doing. We're going to push it back a little bit, right? And y'all get out there and enjoy the rest of your day. Y'all know how it is. 1, go ahead and get your 6 list out. Y'all know I'm already tell you, get your 6 list out. Write down the 6 most important things of the day that you need to do. Need to clean house. Yes, it's all of them. Oh my God. I'm leaving. If you cannot finish all 6 things, Make sure that you transpose those items over to your very next day. There's my Tuesday. I haven't done my 6 list right here, right? But I will. And follow your schedules. Take your vitamins, drink your water, drink your coffee. Drink your water, get your coffee, get your vitamins, or anything else that you are prescribed to take to make yourself healthy and well throughout the day. Remember, 3 things that I always like to tell everybody when we leave every single show. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because you only get one you, and you might as well enjoy it. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. Listen, we'll see you around.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, exciting. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Fernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.